plaintiff, Charles Oliver, is a cab driver who claims after a night of partying, the defendant got in his cab and he ended up assaulting Charles. As a result, the defendant was arrested and ultimately convicted. So he's suing for pain and suffering. Defendant Alex Ocampo admits that on the night of the incident, he was drunk and passed out in Charles's cab. However, Alex says he woke up to the defendant violently pulling his friend out of the cab by his head. So he simply fought Charles to protect his friend.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I've been a taxi driver for 2 years, and a year and a half ago, I was assaulted by the defendant and left bloodied, and I haven't received so much as an apology.
Tell me how that came about.
On August 19th, 2012, I was waiting in line outside a nightclub in Orange County, and the defendant and a friend of his was brought down by 3 security officers down to the taxi line, which is not an unusual occurrence if people have too much to drink. Often security brings them down, make sure they get into a cab, make sure they get home safe.
All the time?
Yeah, nightly.
Okay.
I mean, nightly you'll see at least
on
one.
On average, how many?
Well, I would see at least 2 or 3.
Every night?
Yeah.
Or nightly? 2 or 3 people so smashed, security has to take them out?
Correct, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But usually it's 1 security officer, and the fact there was 3 with 2 gentlemen. And as I was driving up to pick up Mr. Ocampo, I saw him turn to the security officer and wave his finger in the security officer's face. It kind of led me to believe that, probably a little bit more than just intoxication was the reason why he was being asked to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Mr. Ocampo and his friend get into the back of my cab. He tells me to take him to a hotel. It's a short 10-minute ride. In the meantime, during that 10 minutes, both him and his friend pass out in the back of my cab. We get to the hotel. I try to wake up Mr. Ocampo after a couple tries. I get him awake. I try to wake up his friend. Mr. Ocampo is just in the back of my cab. He's not helping me with his friend or anything. So I get out of my cab and walk around to the passenger side, open the door, and try to wake up his friend to get him out of my cab. At which point, Mr. Ocampo grabs me by the back of my head, slams it down on the door of the cab, caused my glasses to fall off and me to lose my balance, and I fell down. So at that point, I was fearful of what was going to happen next. So I grabbed my glasses, I go into the hotel. The clerk says I'm bleeding. I had no idea the extent of my injuries. I hadn't seen myself. So at that point, I asked for if I could use his phone to call 911, call the police. While I'm in there on the line talking to the police, Mr. Ocampo comes in from outside. He engages the clerk in conversation, causes the clerk to leave the desk and go to the back room. And at that point, he waits until there's no witnesses. He takes his forearm and with a fist, actually with his forearm, he hits me in the chest, causing me to fall back again on my back side and slid across the marble floor about 6 feet. The dispatcher, I dropped the phone, the dispatcher hears everything that's going on. Mr. Ocampo quietly just turns around, walks out as if nothing happened. Police arrive. One officer comes and talks to me, and the other officer finds Mr. Ocampo and his friend hiding in the garage trying to get in their car.
Let me allow him to give some background, sir.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, what this person is not saying is that the fact that he was violently pulling my friend by his head out of the back of the taxi. But if I could start from the beginning, Your Honor.
Excuse me.
Let him finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we were at a nightclub that night, a couple of friends, and one of my friends had a little too much to drink. And the security, kicks him out of the club. So I volunteered to go, cut my night short, go with him, make sure that he gets to the hotel safely. And when I'm in the taxi, I fall asleep. When I'm awoken by a sound, and I'm still in a fog from waking up, and then I kind of see that this person is pulling my friend from the head, and I'm not understanding why, but I just go around the taxi, and I push him off my friend to defend my friend, because I didn't know what was going on. At that point, I get my friend out of the taxi, and I check he's okay, and then I go to the lobby to confront him and ask him, what's going on? Why were you yanking my friend from his head like that? And at that point, he comes up.
Where was your friend at this point?
He was outside. I sat him down on a bench outside, and because he was just completely gone. So I go inside to ask him, like, what's going on? He comes up to me.
Completely gone, as if he couldn't get out of the cab on his own?
Correct.
Why didn't you pull your friend out if he couldn't get out on his own?
No, I did.
No, you just said he was yanking him.
No, I understand.
Why did he have to begin pulling your friend out instead of you?
I don't know. I was asleep, Your Honor.
Oh, so you were knocked out too?
Yeah, I was asleep. Yeah, I was
okay,
asleep.
so both of you all were passed out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I showed up. I was.
Place. All right, what did you think? You should just sit there and just wait till the morning time and hope I'll just wait till these guys wake up from their drunken sleep. But go ahead.
No, but I mean, the form that I saw him pulling him violently from the head, that's what caused an alarm. And I was still in a fog from waking up. So I just pushed him away to get my friend.
So you went inside the hotel, and then what?
Well, and then he comes up to me, and since I had just seen him yanking my friend, I'm not understanding why, I just pushed him away from me. I walked out of the lobby, and my friend finally
so you
woke up.
assaulted him first.
I'm sorry?
You assaulted him, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, when he came up to me, I felt threatened, so I pushed him away from me.
You assaulted him twice?
I pushed him away, Your Honor.
Huh?
Okay.
You assaulted him in the cab. You blame it on your friend. Didn't you assault him in the hotel? You don't know who to blame that on.
So yeah, we go back to the car, and then we're waiting for the rest of our friends that had the key to the hotel room. At that point, then the police comes, arrested my friend and myself, and they charged me with a felony assault with a deadly weapon. So I believe
and intoxication, Your Honor.
they thought that the car door was a deadly weapon. But at any case, my attorney advised me to take the plea of a misdemeanor, and I got a 3-year unsupervised probation, 10 days Caltrans.
Did your attorney advise you whenever you plead guilty to a crime that you're likely to be sued, and that evidence of you pleading guilty where you said, yes, I did it, that evidence is probably going to overwhelmingly lead to a conviction or to a judgment?
We did not discuss
that. He didn't tell you that?
No, we did not
discuss that.
discuss
You had a bad attorney.
I understand. But at that time in the court, they also made me fill out a restitution and responsibility form. I filled all those out.
Did you pay it?
They did not order me to pay anything to the defendant.
Okay, so they said zero restitution.
Yes, I believe.
All right, if they had ordered restitution, he may not have brought it. But since they didn't, he says, well, let me go ahead and sue. And what he has to prove today is, by a preponderance of evidence, is that you assaulted him and it caused him injury. You admit to assaulting him. Your only defense is that, well, you don't have a defense. You said the judge sentenced you.
Well, yeah.
You admitted guilt, and the judge sentenced you. So why are we here?
Well, it was self-defense, Your Honor. I was defending my friend from
Did you tell the judge that?
I didn't want to risk having a felony.
Okay, well, you lost.
Correct.
5,000 for the plaintiff. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Honor. I hope you learned your lesson.
Well, I mean, you
Treat
really
people
took
with
advantage
respect. I did
of
nothing
a
of the
drunk
sort.
person.
I'm
just glad this is over with.
A large part of my income is in tips. I don't go around assaulting people. I don't get tips when I assault people.